Hey everybody, I wanted to say hello again from Nicaragua on very, very hot, humid day in Granada. But I am so glad that you're here, and I'm so glad that you're staying inside. So if you see this, you're probably watching it from inside your house. And just be safe. I've been thinking about all of you. It's really hitting hard in the States, I know. Hasn't here yet. If it will, we hope not. But I don't see any way it won't. So we're being safe now, and maybe we can stem the curve, so to speak, a little bit. And but I hope you're well. I was saddened to hear that we lost a legend this last week. John Prine, one of my favorite singer-songwriters. He was just funny, literate, intelligent. Just came up with some of the craziest lines you've ever come up with. How did anybody ever think of that? A lot of you will know his songs, Angel and Montgomery. Bonnie Raitt did a phenomenal cover of Hello in There, which he did himself, and I think he nominated for Newcomer of the Year for a Grammy back in the 70s sometime for that song. He came out of that singer-songwriter craze, like I said, and the Taylors and the James Taylors and Simon Garfunkels and Joan Baez, Carly Simons, Chris Christopherson, Steve Goodman, all those guys that were writing their own songs and singing their own songs. And it was really cool period of time, and it's still going on today. Really some really neat people out there in the folk country / blues folk realm, bluegrass. And John fell in all of those categories at some point. He did one song that was, he wrote it with Steve Goodman, and it was amazing because he wrote the song as a joke. Actually, Steve started out the first two lines as a joke. Says, it was all I could do to stop from crying or keep from crying. Sometimes it seems so useless to remain. And John started making fun of him, said, "Man, you're just making a weeper." He said, "I can't believe you're doing that." He goes, "How about you never call me darling, darling. You never even call me by, you don't have to call me darling, darling. You never even call me by my name." And Goodman goes, "Oh, that might work." And he writes it, and I guess one night in New York City in a suite, they just sort of wrote the song. And a month later, Goodman calls Prine and says, "I did it." And he said, "Did what?" He says, "I sold the song." He goes, "What song?" He says, "The one we wrote together." He goes, "What song we wrote together?" He goes, "Darling, Darling." He goes, "That stupid song?" And asked if Prine wanted a byline. And I guess the story is told by both Steve and John that Prine said, "No, it's a dumb old song. I don't want my name on it." And Dave Allan Coe, of course, said it wasn't country enough because it didn't mention dogs or trucks or rain or prison or mama, and so, or getting drunk. That was the other thing. And so Steve Goodman wrote the last song, and now it's famous. And it's a fun song, and it's really it's not a parody at all, but it is sort of taking all the elements from country music and putting them all in one song. And that's the reason David Allan Coe calls it perfect country western song. But Dave Allan Coe didn't sing it the way they wrote it. And I want to show you what I mean by that. So, it was all I could do to keep from crying. Sometimes it's useless to remain. You're the one who always tried to change me. That is why I always stayed the same. I'll hang around as long as you will let me. I never minded standing in the rain, but you don't have to call me darling, darling. You never even called me by my name. Well, I saw my name a few times in the phone book, and I saw it on a sign on a bar I owned. But there's only one thing that I am sure of. I want to hear when my Savior calls me home, and I'll hang around as long as you will let me. I never minded standing in the rain. You don't have to call me darling, darling. Never even called me by my name. You don't have to call me Waylon Jennings. You don't have to call me Charlie Pride. And you don't have to call me Merle Haggard anymore. Even though I'm on your fighting side, and I'll hang around as long as you will let me. I never minded standing in the rain. You don't have to call me darling, darling. You never even called me by my name. Now this is where the last verse came in. The coach said it wasn't country enough. But again, coach changed the words a little bit on his recording. But this is how Steve Goodman and John Prine meant it to sound. The dog was drunk the day my mom got out of prison. I went to pick her up in the rain. By the time I got to the station in my pickup truck, she got run over by the dang old train. And I'll hang around as long as you will let me. I never minded standing in the rain. You don't have to call me darling, darling. You never even called me. Wonder why you never called me. You never ever called me by my name, by my name. Rest in peace, John Prine.